Let me share a couple of times when people did not take the chance. Acts 26:1, Agrippa had sent for Paul. Paul was under house arrest, and Agrippa decided to find out what's wrong with this man and determine, does he need to be arrested or can I let him go? And so he summoned Paul to try to find out if Paul really is a bad dude, undermining the law and the government and whatever. Paul, you know, you don't often get called up by the kings and the high priest and whatever. So Paul sees an opportunity. He didn't write off for it. He didn't say, I'd like to have an audience with the king. I'd like to have an audience with the high priest. I would like to be I'd like the governor to. Paul didn't do that. Paul just an ordinary prisoner. And King Agrippa says, I want him up here. And I'll determine whether he, you know, is rightfully being charged or not. And Paul says, what an opportunity to preach Christ. He doesn't go defend himself. He doesn't, his speech is there in the 26th chapter of Acts. He starts talking about Jesus. And when he gets through talking about Jesus, here's Agrippa. King Agrippa, do you believe the prophets? Paul said, I know you do believe in the prophets. And Agrippa looked at Paul. What a moment that had to be. The king listening to this dude that's in jail, and he knows the king has power to set him free. And all this dude has done is tell him about Jesus. And King Agrippa looks at Paul and says, Paul, you almost persuade me to be a Christian. Now, we know the history of Agrippa, and sadly, to our knowledge, he never followed up on that opportunity that he could have had to be persuaded to be a Christian. As far as we know historically, he died not believing that Jesus was God, that he was the Messiah. So he came that close, just a breath away from being able to make a golden choice that would have changed the history of the king, maybe the history of a nation. He was so close. Almost, Paul, you almost persuade me. In fact, he would tell his men, the next statement, if this man had not appealed to go to Rome, I could let him go right now. He's innocent. He's not bad. But Paul did appeal to go to Rome. He didn't care. He was just going to talk about Jesus wherever he went. And he almost persuaded Agrippa, but almost is not enough. I'd hate to be Agrippa and wake up in eternity somewhere in the future and judgment and know that I was standing right there in front of Paul. My heart was saying, this guy is right. Jesus was the Messiah. He's almost got me. Almost. But not quite. You get it? He didn't use that timing, and he didn't take advantage of the opportunity.